Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of StarMade, brought to you by Game Zombies. And my name is SrCalavera, and as you can see, well, as if you remember, I'm making a robot. Been working hard on this thing, more than mainly to get the bloody recording tools up and running. So a short story, AMD drivers have been playing up with all my recording tools, even though I got a new graphics card now. Still having issues with it, but currently this is probably the best setup. So yeah, that's just random gibberish. Let's head to the main and important bits. We got now Mr. Transforming robot here. We got another expansion, or another how do you call it? Blah, blah, blah. Component. That's the word. Component added, which is the back. So I'm just gonna show you from here how it works. First of all, the head will just go down when I want to turn it into ship mode, and then this thing will just turn around as well, and there you go. So there's still other modules that I need to add, especially to make it look more like a ship. So we have still a nose that needs to be added. The legs will work as a tail of the ship, so there's still plenty of things that I need to do, but here is the idea. Basically, this block will be the most important for the robot, as it will house the heart of the machine. And well, I've came across lots of issues and things that I'm gonna share with you, but I was just gonna show you here from the side how it works. So if we go here sideways, so first of all, the back will detach and then turn and then go back against the core, and while it does that, the head will just do the same thing, just move and adjust to the back. So I'm gonna show you guys how I made this thing turn this way, how to move. Let's do it, and we'll talk about the rest of the design. Alright guys, let's get our hands dirty with this. So the back is made of two main logic systems. This one, which will turn the back into ship mode, and then we got this little one that turns it into robot mode, or place it vertical. So we'll just I'm gonna start with how I started working on it. So basically, the main part, or the initial part, was making all these blocks or all these rails to point to my left. As you can see here, this is probably the initial point of the whole transformation, and that is when it's in robot mode. You see the back is vertical, and so this is probably the point, or the way I started. So what happens, what I was trying to do is, okay, it's going to detach a little bit from the heart and then turn like, well, as you've seen before, but for that I needed some space in case I wanted to put more stuff in the heart. So I basically needed the back to go a little bit to the right, to my right. In this case, it's gonna travel all this way here to this rail, then turn, and then come back with a twist. So the initial part obviously is making sure that the all the rails are pointing to the same direction, and that is with my lovely activation module and a rail that will be pointing to my left. Watch out when you press E. It's just a matter of keeping an eye on it. Yep, so we got this, and we're gonna tell this Mr. Activation module to turn all these blocks and point to the same that we've been put that went set beside. So, oops. Press Shift B. Thank you, Andy. You confirm Shift B works only on build mode, which obviously makes sense. On the previous video, I was doing this. I was building on the normal astronaut mode, so you don't have this advanced tools. But yeah, here Shift V works really well, and we've got this initial part. So we test it, activates, and then it just obviously moves the core to the left, to the initial point. Now, this part belongs to obviously to this set of logic system. But now I'm gonna have to work on this one because this one is probably the most complicated. You'll see why. And if you have any better way to come to the same solution, let me know. As I said, this is probably a very cool exercise for me to understand what I've been doing, if I'm doing it right, and if there's anything that can be improved, because obviously this stuff I will replicate it close to the heart, so it's hidden, you know. This is gonna be as part of the internal machinery of the robot. So I'm gonna have to rebuild the whole thing inside. If there's any way to save some blocks, then yeah, obviously I'm gonna do it. But yeah, this exercise will help me to understand this and come across new options, and obviously for you guys to not to follow this if I'm doing it wrong. If you have the same idea, just see how am I approaching that solution for this, and either follow it or find new ways. So now what do we need to do? Well, we need to make the core to move then to the right. For that, obviously we're going to have an activation module. Make sure you have it separate from any other rail, because I was doing the stupid thing of placing module my rail, but I didn't realize that it was beside another rail, so it wasn't turning the rail into what I wanted. Yep, so just keep an eye on that, especially with when you're like working on a tight environment and you can see all the blocks and stuff. Like I said, make it outside, test it. If it works, include it into your internal for the ship, robot, whatever you're doing. I think that's a good probably test. Yeah, so okay, so this one will then turn the rails to the right, and it keeps freaking selecting. Sorry. So this guy will be then linked to not all, because I don't really need it. So I don't need to have this one. It doesn't really matter because there's gonna be another logic module changing this, but we're gonna select this, and then we need a delay. So I set a delay of 1.5, which means I'm using 3 delay blocks. So I'm just linking to this, and then this one to this. Yeah, another thing, I couldn't find if there's any way to increase the delay of a single block. I think you need to stack them. Every block will give you half a second of delay for an input, for a signal. So keep that in mind when you are building, because space is space. And then this delay will trigger another activation module, which will turn this last block. Oops. What am I doing? Pressing the wrong V. Yeah, so another thing that I learned, you don't need to put an actual the specific rail that you need on your system or on your rail, because if you're using activation blocks, you can place any rail and it will turn it, or the logic system that you're applying to this set of rails will change the rail to either a normal rail or one of these clockwise thingies. Yeah, so you'll save some of these blocks, because you don't need to put exactly as you want. Yep, so basically what I'm doing now is obviously this thing will turn right, and then it will change this into counterclockwise, so we'll turn this thing. That's when the back turns into ship mode. It just turns horizontally, and then we're gonna have another delay of, I don't know how much I put it. I can't remember. 3.5 seconds, I think. So we need 7, and I'm gonna link these guys here. Don't need them because I don't need this. And this with this, 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 this with this. Really, guys, if I'm doing this wrong, let me know, because I really deserve the truth. Because I don't want to tell you lies. So this is how how I got to this solution. You tell me if I'm doing wrong. So this will trigger a button, which is interesting. I can't remember why I put a button, but yeah, I put a button. And this button will turn one simple rail into a vertical rail to cause a stop, and that rail is this one here. Oops. So this rail basically will stop the system, and I'll tell you why. Because this is linked to another activation module that will here turn these guys to the left. Yes, to my left. Link this to this. Okay, it's time to test this. I have some broken links here, but we'll try. So play it, switches on, turns, change that block. Rip, twist it, change. This is so slow. And does that. Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm gonna switch it off. I'm gonna reset it. So I'll reset the setting. Okay. So again, this activation block will turn all the rails to the right, then triggers a delay that changes this block into a counterclockwise block module. Then there's another delay that turns this one to create a stop, and then it changes these two guys. This last activation module changes these two rails, so the system can move and rest in this position. Why did I do that? Because yeah, that's where the head and the back combines and joins. So I had to stop here halfway. I couldn't push it forward, because that would have mean that then the head will have to go forward as well, and I just don't want to move it. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So that's another thing that I was going to talk to you. My planning is really close to nothing. Just working on it as it goes, encountering problems and design issues and all sorts of things. But I'm trying to stick to this, and once I finish the robot, then I might create a new version, an improved version. But I really want to have something that I can base to something that works, that I can base, and then create something more crazy, I guess. So yeah, basically in horizontal mode or ship mode, it needed to stop here halfway, otherwise I will then have to push the head forward as well, and it's just too messy. So that's probably the main, the most difficult part that I had to like think, oh, how am I gonna do this? And yep, it didn't turn out that bad. So what happens once we've got this thing in this position? Obviously, the back needs to turn back to its original position, and then slide back to the left end of the rail. That part is really simple. What I did is just basically adding activation module that will turn the right corner block into clockwise. I don't know if placing these blocks, if it makes any difference. I really haven't seen any difference. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'll just place it like that. So it will turn clockwise. This button. Yeah, it's a button. Now, I think I can put buttons on this thing because the action is just changing the block, so it doesn't really need to give the signal on. So if I replace all these activation modules with buttons, I believe it will work the same way. Let's just quickly try it. Yeah. Alright, let's try buttons. Oops. Press the wrong button. Wrong button. Here. Yep, so it does the same work. Something got stuck here. Let me just reset my machine. Oh, of course, because it's not linked. Right, let's try it again. Buttons. Doing it. This is quite interesting. Doesn't kind of do it. Oh, of course, because I don't have it linked again. Excuse me, guys. Forgive me, please. I am a noob. Right, reset the system again in third attempt. There you go. There you go. So buttons or activation modules work the same way to change the position or the type of rail. I don't think this will improve in any way, like power consumption or anything like that. It's just probably a way to have these systems more, well, let's say like have a clean system, because otherwise you have always the activation module on, and then you need something to trigger to switch them off and then on again. So that way you just need to one single input to do the change, and then the system is ready to be used again. I don't know if you, yeah, because otherwise it's gonna be like this. I'll activate this, but it stays active. So I need another input to switch it off, and then another one to switch it on. Instead, with the buttons, you only need one single input to activate this, and then automatically it will switch off. So that's actually working better for me. I don't know if how it's gonna be with the lag, but could give it a try. I'm happy to try and change the activation modules to buttons. Yep, so the last part is just, like I said, it was just something simple. Then we just need to turn this here into clockwise block, and I'm gonna put, let's just keep doing buttons. This button will have rails turning this way. Let's see. So it's gonna be this one, and this one. Oh no, this one up. And then it will come to this one. Okay. We need some some timing here. I have 2 seconds from this to this one. Oh yeah, so we got 2 seconds. Again, this was like a trial and error, that things were like overlapping and the system wasn't working. So I ended up having this things here. So I'm just gonna place them. Oh, this looks so bad. I'm just gonna link them. Okay, so this is gonna be the first one. This is gonna be linked to this one. Then this one is gonna be not to this. It's gonna be linked to this. Then this to this. This to this. And this to this. And then this to this. Oops. What the hell? Oh, I pressed X again. Alright. So let's test it. So the main block was this one. It turns back. Ooh. Something not chained. This one to this one. Oh, it was probably already on. Okay. So this is what happens with activation block. So if one is on, it just screws the whole system. So let's just place buttons. Let's just replace everything for buttons now. So this one. This one is the main, then it goes to this. To this, and this one was to this. Just making sure that everything is okay. Oh yeah, I need to redo the connection. So there's two. Oh, actually, oh yeah, no, this one is fine. It's this one here. I'm getting coughing now. Sorry. This one here, and this one will be the whole set of blocks. All right, let's try it. Button, pick, turns back. And it should trigger. Yeah. All right. So let's test it again. We got the other system. So pushes everything that way. Then it turns counter. Then returns and then finds a stop here. When I try to go back to the robot mode, this is what happens. It pushes everything that way to the right and turns clockwise and then comes all the way back. So as you can see, it's just doing it at the same level. And yeah, that's how I made this system. So here it looks a lot better, better explained, makes more sense. I learned now that I'd rather use buttons than having activation modules, because I believe for them I had this sort of input here and this node signal, which was making the changes. Basically what happened is that having activation modules rather than buttons, I needed then an extra activation module that with a not signal. So when I push this one on, it will switch this on, and the not signal will switch this system off, and the other way around. When I press it again, or when I switch it off, it will switch the not signal to switch this on, and then switch the other system off. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure you understand what I mean. Now I just need the beautiful buttons, and then these buttons can be linked to wireless controller or something, and then just run this from the cockpit. So that's it, guys, for now. I hope you enjoy this. If you think of a better way to get this done, let me know. There must be heaps of ways, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, we'll keep working on this. As I said, I'm gonna include or push these systems inside of the core, and then from there, I think next episode I'm gonna be looking at the nose, because the nose will be quite an important part of the ship as well. It will basically be the front bit here of the robot, and perhaps having arms and wings. I have good ideas for them. The problem is just applying. And another issue that I had with this part, with the back, is that I planned the diameter or the width of this robot wrong. So I end up having this core. This is the actual core for the back, all the way out. It's kind of a pain and annoying because I don't know how I'm gonna cover it, but I'm thinking about a shield or something fancy that will cover this bit. But yeah, it's probably another issue that you come across making a robot. Where you're gonna put the joints, the rail systems that will actually move the stuff, because obviously you need an area, clear area to allow the movement. And yeah, probably it's gonna get more complicated in the with the next or the future modules. So yep, I hope you guys like this. As I said, main thing is learn, and any feedback will be welcome. Thank you again for this multiplayer server, Mikeland, and its owner, admin, known. I haven't had a chat with you, man, but thanks if you're watching these videos. Yeah, man, thank you very much for the space, and see you guys later.